set. Okay, I think the recording has started, I guess. That I can check it like this. Okay, the recording has started. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So this is the problem if I don't close this. Yeah. How many people are okay? Here we go. Okay. Please now hold on a second. I'll share the screen. Just a second. Mm, okay. Okay. Somebody is on the line. Okay. Mm, somebody is on the line again. Okay. Somebody is on the line. Okay. Okay. Please let us let me share the screen. Mm, here we go. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Addressing notes. Of course, we can refer both the material, guys. The notes I have shared and this Mazidi presentation also. This is also good. You can use any document for your. Of course, I suggest studying from the textbook. In case if you don't have access now, no problem. You can study from this. Any doubt we can discuss. That's not an issue. Okay. Assembly language program. Okay, fine. Okay, let's to start with, we have various instruction set that I'll discuss here. Okay, so what are the various instruction set available in 805 microcontrollers? Okay, so instruction sets are generally classified as data transfer instruction, where it involves transferring of data between two memory locations, or it may involve what you call direct data also possible. Okay, somebody is on the line, just a second. Okay, here we go. Okay. That is called as data transfer instruction. It may be from register to memory location, or vice versa, that is memory to register location, memory to register location, or it can be from direct data into register, direct data into register or memory locations, register or memory locations. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that is data transfer instructions. Next is arithmetic instructions. Okay, that is we basically perform four operations: addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. We perform these four arithmetic operations. Then comes you know yes, somebody has a message. Just hold on a second. Somebody has a message on. Somebody has posted a video. Okay, we'll see later. No problem. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, so next is logical instruction. Logical instruction is there are basically three operations performed. Okay, that is AND operation, logical AND operation, logical OR operation, and logical XOR operation, and complement operation. Sorry, logically we should call it as NOT operation. We will call it as NOT operation. I need to stretch. Oh, sorry. Okay, logically it is okay. I'll put it on this side. Okay, it is a NOT operation. Okay, AND operation is logical AND operation. We have seen AND operations, AND of two variables. For example, A B. Somebody is on the line. Okay, A B output is A into B. Similarly, okay, somebody is on the line. Multiple people waiting, so I need to select view on so that multiple people can be admitted. Okay, yeah, here we go. So not this. Some area. Okay. Okay. So what is R operation is? R of I wrote R symbol wrong. Okay. R operation involves no R of again this is also not a clear symbol. Yes. Anyway, sorry. Inputs are AB, output is A plus B. R operation. Similarly, we have XOR operation. You know, XOR operation, exclusive OR gate. So we have seen in our ADC lab exclusive OR operation. If you provide A, B as the input, output is A plus B. A exclusive OR B. A exclusive OR B. NOT operation is simple NOT gate. 7404 NOT operation. Okay, input if it is A, output is A bar. Output is A bar. Okay, so these operations can be performed as part of the logical operations of 805 microcontroller. Okay, this is brief introduction. We'll see the instruction in detail actually, and we'll execute also. In compiler, we'll execute and see. Okay. Okay. Next is branch instruction. Yes, we will discuss in addressing mode. We discussed few branch instruction like short jump, short jump, long jump instructions. Okay. Okay, so those instructions comes under what is known as a branch instruction. Okay, jump instruction. Basically, branch instruction means jump instruction. Similar to goto in C language, we had an instruction keyword called as goto. Okay, so this will force the compiler to jump to a particular loop or particular instruction. Okay, in C language. Similarly, in assembly language programming, branch instruction corresponds to jump instructions. Subroutine instructions, that is A call, L call. So we had seen absolute call and L call instructions when we discussed long long addressing modes. So those things comes under what is known as a subroutine call. As the name suggests, to call a subroutine. What is subroutine is group of instructions which are repeated a number of times. So instead of writing the lines again in the program, we group under a subroutine. In C language, we call that as functions. It is equivalent to functions in C language. Okay. Why I take example of C? Because we have already studied basics of C, so that will help us in understanding the programming concept. Okay. So that is known as a subroutine call or subroutine instructions. So next type of instruction is called as a bit manipulation instructions. Okay, that is generally all these instructions, except all these instructions deal with 8-bit of data. Generally, okay, 8-bit of data. But we can also handle 1-bit of data. Okay, that is called as a bit handling instruction, because 1-bit handling is very powerful feature. Instead of using 8 bits of the microcontroller. Okay. Because just for let's say I need only 1-bit position, I need only 1-bit memory. So for that, if I make use of all the 8 bits, modify all the 8 bits, it's a waste of memory. If I can use all the 8 bits independent of each other, so then it becomes very space saving, and it becomes very powerful programming. Okay, so there's a basic difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. In microprocessor, there are very less number of bit handling instruction. This we had discussed when we discussed the difference between microprocessor and controller. If you remember, microprocessor has very less number of bit handling instruction, but microcontroller gives large number of bit handling instruction. It's very powerful. Okay, compared to microprocessor. Why microprocessor does not has more number of bit handling instruction is because microprocessor is basically designed for a general application. Okay, it can do a lot of things. It is a complex instruction set computer, a CISC-based architecture. There are a lot number of instruction, but when it comes to bit handling instruction, microcontroller is preferable than compared to microprocessors. Yes, okay. So let us start this. Let us start discussing various addressing modes. I'll execute and I'll show you, because many instructions we have seen, of course, by now. Especially the bit handling instructions we have already seen. Okay, no issues. We'll execute and we'll see the various. So not bit handling, sorry. We have seen data transfer instructions. We'll discuss again. Okay. Yes, before I continue from here, quickly let us look into some you know important points in this document. Most of the things we already know, like 8051 process 8-bit of data, address pointing to the data is fetched. Okay. This point also there's PC. Okay. PC points to a particular instruction which is fetched and executed by the microcontroller. Okay. So majority of 8051 registers are 8-bit in size, and that's why there is only one data type in 8051 that is called as 8-bit. In C language, we have come across many data types. What are the data types we have come across, guys? Like integer. Okay. We have come across character. We have float. Okay. We have double. Okay. Double. In fact, long double. There are many long double. Okay. So there are many. Okay. So like for example, integer is a 2-byte data type. Okay. Character 1-byte data type. Something like this. Okay. C supports C language supports these kind of data types. Possible. There it supports variable length data types. Okay. Various size data types. But in 8051 assembly programming, there is no possible assembly programming, not in C. In C, there are slight changes that we'll discuss later in the next unit. Okay. Assembly programming has only one data type, that is called as 8-bit data type. There is no other data type available in 8051 assembly programming, not in C. C slight changes are there that we'll discuss later. Okay. So this is how we identify the bits. The rightmost bit is the LSB, this significant bit. Leftmost bit is the. This is a general convention, guys. Generally, this is how we identify the 8-bit data. Okay. These are the registers. Okay, we'll start with the move instruction. Okay. Move instruction. There are various types of move instruction which we have come across. A few samples we have already seen. Okay, especially in when we discussed addressing modes, we have seen few. Let us quickly generally go through the various address move instructions. Move syntax. The syntax is move. First is the destination. Okay, comma source. Okay, so that's how we specify. Source can be any of the addressing modes. Okay. For example, it can be direct immediate addressing mode where data is part of the instruction. It can be direct addressing mode where address is part of the instruction. Okay, so this is immediate addressing mode. This is direct addressing mode where address is part of the instruction. Then comes a register addressing mode where registers are part of the instructions. Okay, a register addressing mode. It can be indirect addressing mode also. It can be indirect addressing mode. Indirect addressing mode. Anything is possible. But destination, it cannot be immediate. It cannot be immediate data. Compiler generates error. I think this we had seen. We'll execute and we'll see. Okay, we'll see one more example. Okay, so this is a simple move instruction. This instruction tells the CPU to move. In reality, copy. Move in the sense copy. It's not copy paste, not cut and paste. The source operand to the destination operand. Okay, I think we had seen a lot of move instruction days. Okay. How does the compiler knows it is the data and there is immediate addressing mode? Hash. Hash indicates the our pound symbol indicates it is a data. If it is a character like F, if it is a first character, if it is A to F, there is hexadecimal numbers A to F, then we have to include 0. Okay. Otherwise, compiler says some invalid character, invalid data. Okay. So 0 to indicate that F is a X number and not a letter. It is not a character. Like for example, we can include some other characters that we'll see. We can include like microcontroller. We can include this also as a data, but this is not a hexadecimal number. But we want to tell the compiler that I want to include a hexadecimal number in the program, in the instruction. Then we have to include 0. That's one thing we have to remember. The other important point is, let us quickly look into 0. 0 values. So just a second. It values if values 0 to F moved into 8-bit register, the rest of the bits are assumed to be 0. This also we'll see, guys. We'll see one example for this. Okay, so then we'll understand the various possibilities of data transfer. We can represent in binary also. We can represent the data in binary method also. We can represent the data binary, or it can be octal, or it can be hexadecimal, or it can be decimal. It can be any method of representation of data. But if the number is bigger than, that is somebody is on the line, I don't know. Somebody is on the line. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now the situation is that if the number is if the source, if the destination is 8-bit, and if the source is bigger than 8-bit, then compiler generates here. This condition also we'll see. We'll execute and we'll see. Okay. Okay. Next is the arithmetic instruction. We'll go to that little later. So first we'll see all the possibilities of what do you call data transfer instruction. Okay. Yes. In this example, you can see. Yes, I'll execute all this instruction in the compiler. Okay. First, let us look into the instructions. So the source is in this set of instruction. Source is a immediate data. So destination can be a register, direct addressing mode, that is address is part of the instruction, indirect addressing mode, or a register addressing mode, where register is part of the instruction. Okay. Yeah. That's what it is. So various examples are given, guys. Various possibilities. Okay. Okay. Move the contents of the memory location. Okay. I'm looking at any other contents of the program memory too. Okay, for program memory, we use this index addressing mode. Okay, so we have seen for external internal memory data transfer, the instruction is MOV. For external memory data transfer, instruction is MOVX. Okay, only these are the possible instructions. We cannot use for external memory also. We can use R1 and R0. How it is used, I'll explain that. Okay, I'll discuss that. Okay. Okay, and for code memory data transfer, we use the instruction MOVC. Okay, there is code memory means to transfer the data from code memory to internal accumulator. So for that we use MOVC instruction. This is not possible. Let us say, for example, MOVC at A plus DPTR comma A. This is not possible. Compiler generates error. Okay, that is, we are trying to transfer the data from internal memory, there is internal RAM location accumulator, to internal code memory, not possible. How to store the data in code memory? For that we have to use define byte assembler directive, that we'll discuss later at the end of this data transfer instructions. Okay. Any other? Okay, 1 bit of data. This is the type of 1 bit of data. So we can transfer 1 bit of data using a binary representation. Okay, B represents binary. Okay, so where C is the carry bit. C is a carry bit. Carry bit which is available in the what you call a program status word. Okay, so we had discussed the program status word in little detail. Okay, push and okay. So that type of instruction, data transfer instruction, is called as push and pop. This we had discussed when we discussed stack memory. Push instruction is used to store data onto stack memory, whereas pop instruction is used to retrieve or read data from the, read means transfer, retrieve, copy the data from stack memory to internal memory, stack memory to another location, destination location. Generally we'll call it as destination location. Push and pop. This also will execute, guys. We'll execute this instruction, and we'll see the push and pop operation also. Okay, that we'll do today. Any other? Okay, there is a slight change in data transfer instructions. Slight modification to data transfer instruction, that is called as exchange instructions. What is exchange instruction? Let us say, for example, there is some data in accumulator A. Okay, some data, let us say 09H is available in accumulator, and in one more register, for example R3, some another data is available, let us say 06H, for example. Okay, I need to exchange these two data between these two locations. Okay, There are different way of doing that using a temporary register. Let us say, for example, take R2, first transfer R3 to R2, then transfer accumulator to R3, then transfer R2 to this we can do. This is a simple logic. Instead of this, we can use a XCH instruction. XCH stands for exchange. Exchange the data between two locations. Okay, but condition is one of the locations should be accumulator. Okay, if it is not accumulator, what happens? We'll see. We'll ask the compiler. Compiler is the best, is like a second source of knowledge for us for all the programming languages, because compiler tells you a lot of things. Okay, exchange instruction can include. Let's observe the exchange instruction is one of the registers should be accumulator. Other location can be, it cannot be immediate data, gone. Immediate data, it cannot store the data. Okay, for example, hash 50 is not possible. Okay, source of data can be a register, general register, or indirect addressing mode, or direct addressing mode. No other possibility. It cannot be immediate addressing mode, or it cannot be indexed addressing mode also. Not possible. Okay, only these three possibility. Only these three, possible instruction set available for what you call exchange instructions. Okay, so next is a slight modification of exchange instruction is called as a XCHD. What is XCHD says? Okay, we'll take one example for this. Let us say, for example, in accumulator there is a data. Let us say 06H. Okay, let us take simple example. Yes, 06H. In one of the memory location, let us say, for example, 30H. One memory location. You can take any memory location for that matter. 09H is stored in the location 30H, for example. Now what I have to do is, I need to transfer only the lower byte of lower nibble. Sorry, what is one nibble, guys? One nibble equal to 4 bit. One nibble is equal to 4 bit. 4 bit. 8 bit is equal to 1 byte. 8 bit is called as 1 byte. 1 byte. Okay, likewise. Okay, so I need one nibble, that is only 4 bit. I need to transfer lower 4 bits of accumulator with lower 4 bit of one memory location. How to do this? Okay, so for that we can use XCHD instruction. The only condition for XCHD instruction is that the one of the register is, of course, accumulator, just like similar to the condition of XCH instruction. This common condition. Other important condition is that the source of data has to be an indirect addressing mode. Source of data has to be only indirect addressing mode. It does not support, what you call a register addressing mode. It does not support register addressing mode, or it does not support immediate data. That is direct addressing mode. Direct addressing mode. It does not support. Okay, guys, we'll execute all this instruction. Don't worry. Okay, we'll execute all these instructions and we'll understand how does it work. Okay, one more type of data transfer instruction is called as swap. Okay, what is swap? Let us say, for example, of course, one simple example is given here. Let us say A is equal to 09H. Some data is available in accumulator. Okay, so this is the let me take another color in case So this is the lower nibble, and this is the what you call upper nibble. Okay, I need to exchange lower and the upper nibble so that my resultant data is 90H. 90H. For this, we make use of an instruction called as swap. Okay, it will swap lower nibble with the upper nibble. Okay, so this also instruction will execute and we'll see. We'll execute all these instructions, and we'll make a mistake also. That is, for example, instead of swap A, the condition in the swap instruction is should be accumulator. It cannot be any other register. We'll try to give it as R0. Move swap R0. There is register 0. Let us see what does the compiler says. Okay, we'll check all this condition. We need to understand all this in detail. Okay, so that's the end of data transfer instruction. So we'll try all the possibilities, guys. So let us jump to the compiler. Okay, yeah. So let us try with the, of course, move instruction we have used many times. Let us say move. For example, I'll try to check this. I'll make destination immediate data and source a register. Okay? Accumulator, for example, let us say accumulator. Accumulator is something which we frequently use. What is the first step is after editing the source code, save the file, right click on source file, build target. There's an error. What the error says, these errors are very interesting, it will not say, it will not reveal. This is like our corona, we will not know what's going on, but still there exists a problem. Okay? Expression type does not match the instruction. That is, expression type means, this destination argument does not match the instruction. Move does not expect immediate data in the destination. It's not expecting immediate data in the destination. Okay, it has to be something else. It can be anything else. It can be direct addressing mode. It can be what you call indirect addressing mode also possible, or it can be what you call register addressing mode. That's also okay, but this is not possible. Compiler says this is not possible. Okay, this is one thing we wanted to check. What is the other thing is, let us look into the other possibility. Okay, so destination cannot be immediate data, and we have tried all this. These two things we already tried. That is, what if both the source and destination is there, registers. For example, let us say R0, R1. For example, both register as 0 to start with. Both the content is 0. First step is save the source code. Right click, build target. Compiler says invalid register. That is, both source and destination cannot be general purpose register. One of them has to be accumulated. So this also we have seen. Any other case? Any other case we have to, this we checked. Okay, data size. Okay, for this I'll take. Let's take accumulator. Accumulator is always comfortable. Yeah. Okay. Let's say the data size is only one bit. I'll not specify. Let us not specify binary, hexadecimal, nothing like that. Let us see what will be there in the accumulator after executing this instruction. Save the file. Right click on the source file. Build target. Compiler says okay. Compiler says something. The instruction seems to be okay. What is the next step is debug start session. Okay, and here next is debug run. Okay, so the instruction what we have specified is move a comma #1. Content of accumulator is 01. 01 means in 8-bit. See, in register it is always 8-bit. It will always store 8-bit. It will not store 1 bit. Okay, 01 corresponds to in 8-bit format 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. Okay, here we have specified only 1. We have not specified hexadecimal or like a binary. It will convert this data into hexadecimal. That is, whatever the format you specify, binary or decimal or octal, whatever it is, internally the compiler will convert into hexadecimal and it will store it into accumulator. Okay, so let us try some other possibility. Like for example, I have not specified anything. By default, it will take it as decimal. It will take it as decimal. Let us specify it as decimal only. Let us see what happens. Okay. So this way we can understand how does the compiler treats the data. Okay, so we should understand that. Let's say I'll specify it as D for decimal. Okay, save the file. Oh, sorry, click on open. Sorry. Okay, just to say, click on open. It's opening the open dialog. Okay, here we go. Click the save file. So right click on the source file, build target. Compiler says okay. Compiler does not have any problem with this. Then debug start session. Okay. Let us run the program. Debug run. Okay. Because we get the same thing, because even if you specified D or not, yes, you can use either small d or capital D. Both are okay, because assembly language is case insensitive. You can use small d or capital D or decimal, no problem. Okay. Luckily, there's not an issue in assembly language program. So you either you specify D or not, it will treat it as decimal if nothing is specified. Now let us take it as binary. Let us see what happens. What if it is binary? There is B. We use the specifier B. B for binary. Let us say B. Save the file. Right click on source file. Build target. no errors. Again, compiler does not have any issue with the instruction. Debug start session, and let us say debug run. Again, the same thing, because when we specify B, it will take it as 1 bit. It will take it as 1 bit. But 1 bit cannot be stored in a 8-bit location. Compiler will append zeros to the left out bits. To the left out bit position, it will append zeros. Okay, it will convert one binary into 01 hexadecimal number. 01 hexadecimal number. Very simple. Guys, what is the other possibility? Guys, the only other possibility we can have is octal. Let us try octal. Generally, I don't. I'm not used octal anyway, because usually we don't use octal. I don't know why, but we don't use octal. Let us see. The compiler does not have any issue with this anyway. Debug start session, and let us say debug run. For 1 is not an issue. 1 is a 1. See, 1 is 1 in binary, decimal, hexadecimal, as well as octal. No problem. Okay. Let us try some other number. Let us try some other number, like, for example, let us say I'll give it as 10. Let us say something bigger than 9, so that we'll know what are the changes. Let us say 10. I'll not specify anything. I'll not specify it as either binary, or I'll not specify it as decimal, or I'll not specify it as octal, hexadecimal, or octal. Let us see how does the compiler treats this number. Save the file. Right click on source code, build target, debug start session. First of all, we have to check whether the program has any error. Yes, there's but why? Okay, did I do the build? Okay, sorry, did I do the build target? I don't know why I forgot build target. Okay, I did the build target. Okay, debug start session. Okay, here we go, and debug run. Next is debug run. Okay, please observe this. I specified it as, let me first erase this. I specified it as 10. Nothing is specified, it will assume it as decimal. It will convert decimal 10 into hexadecimal number, that is 0AH. 0AH. Okay, so 0A is copied into accumulator. Very simple. You can specify, similarly, you can specify octal, guys. Out of curiosity, let us try one octal example. You can try just to analyze what are the various possibilities. Octal. Save the source file, build target, debug start session. Okay, and let us say debug run. Here we go. Okay, see, 10 in octal is 8 in hexadecimal, 08H in hexadecimal. You can try this. You can take a calculator and you can check. 10 in octal gives 8 in 08H in hexadecimal number system. That's all. Okay, fine. So that's about the the numbers. Other possibility is that we specify binary numbers. Let us say 10 is specified as B. Let us see what happens. Now, out of curiosity, I'm specifying only 2 bit. I'm specifying only 2 bits. There is 1 and 0. 2 bits, which is nothing but 1 and 0 binary. Let us see how the compiler treats this as. How the compiler reacts to this. Let us see. Okay. Build target. Okay, no errors. Debug starts. No errors means something compiler will take care of this. Something take care means it knows what to do with the instruction. It's clear with that. No issues. Run. Okay. Yeah. Look at this case. What is 10 binary corresponds to? 10 binary. Okay. This by the by, 10 binary means only 2-bit position. It will take this 2-bit position as LSB positions. LSB position is 10. Okay. Accumulator is 8-bit in size. 8-bit in size. So what it has to do, compiler has to do, left over position should be filled with zeros, because 8-bit now it has to load something into other bit position. It cannot keep it open. Not possible. Okay. So now it is, if you see this binary 00000010 B, it is binary. What is in hexadecimal? It is 0 to H. In hexadecimal, it is 0 to H. This okay now? This is very simple. This all these binary number systems we are already familiar. That's not the issue. Okay. Now let us specify binary numbers only. Let us specify something like 8, for example, or 8 or 9, something like this. Okay, let me give only 4 bit. 4 bit will convert into 8 bit. That's not the issue. Let us take 8 bit data. 8 bit data will also be handled by the compiler. Compiler should not have any issue with the 8 bit of data. Build target. Okay. Debug the start session. Okay. 8 bit binary number will be loaded as 09H. Okay. So we have given it as 00001001. That is 09. In binary, it will be converted into hexadecimal 09H and it will be loaded into accumulator. Very simple. Okay, so this is very simple. We have tried all this, I think, all the possibilities. Binary numbers we tried. Okay, if data is bigger than 8 bit, let us see what happens. We have tried the data smaller than 8 bit. What if the data is bigger than 8 bit? Let us start with this binary number only. Let us say, for example, in binary, I'll make it as 10 bits. Instead of 8 bit, I'm giving a 10 bit binary number. Destination is accumulator. Let us see how the compiler reacts to this build target. See, there is no error in the program, guys. You can observe that there is no error. Compiler says it's okay. It doesn't care. It knows how to manage whether the data is bigger than 8 bit or less than 8 bit. Okay, but let us see what will be the result in the accumulator debug run. It is 09H. Why? Because it will consider only the lower 8 bits and it will ignore the upper 2 bits. Now, out of curiosity, let us make it something like this. What is the possibility is that 9, okay, we'll do like this. This is 9 and we'll add how many zeros? 6 zeros. So totally it is 10 bit. It is bigger than 8 bit. Okay. So let us see how the compiler reacts. What should be the result in the accumulator bits? It should consider only the lower bits, lower 8 bit. If you consider lower 8 bits, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If it consider only the lower 8 bits, the data in the accumulator should be 40H. If everything goes well, if what we have understood is correct, the accumulator should consist of 40H. Let us see what is the content of accumulator after running the program. Debug start session. Compiler does not have any issue with the instruction, and let us say debug run. Okay, this destination is accumulator now consists of 40H because it has considered only the lower 8 bits and it will ignore the upper 8 bits. It will ignore the upper 8 bits. This is with respect to what we call binary. Similarly, one example we can try for hexadecimal number. Let us say, for example, 123H, for example. Some example. Just to understand how the compiler treats the instruction. Okay, so each time you modify the source code, you have to save it and do the build target. Check the syntax error. There is an error. What the errors? No, not error. Sorry, it's a warning. What the warning says is value has been truncated to 8 bits. Okay, so 123H, 123H. 123H means 1 is 0001 in binary words in terms of binary. 2 is 0010. 3 is 0011. Okay, truncated to 8 bits. See, it is totally it is 12 bits. It is truncated 8 bits. The question is whether it has taken these 2 bytes. Whether it has taken upper byte or whether it has taken the lower byte. That we have to check. Let us run the program. Debug start session and okay, and debug run. Okay, 23H. Okay, guess which numbers it has taken? Yes, it has taken the lower byte. Lower 8 bit. It has taken lower 8 bit. It has ignored the upper 8 bit. That's all. Okay, so if anything, the conclusion from this discussion is very simple. If data is smaller than 8 bit, it will be updated to 8 bit. If data is lesser than 8 bit, it will be converted into 8 bit. That is, it is padded with zeros and it is converted into 8 bit. If data is greater than 8 bit, it will be reduced to 8 bit. It will be reduced to 8 bit by the compiler. Reduced to 8 bit by the compiler. Okay, so that's how the compiler will handle data in the program. Okay, there is immediate data, immediate addressing mode. Is any other possibility? Of course, these things we have seen this. In addressing modes, we have seen all this possibility, and move. Okay, is this possible? Let me check. I'm not sure. Not possible. Let me check. There is in the indirect addressing mode. Destination is the address. So for example, I'll take the same example. 45h comma at R0. What is R0? We need to specify. There is a move R0 comma. Let's say for example 01h. There is R1. Register R1. Okay. Okay, it should be hash. Sorry, hash 01h. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do is I'm writing a simple program where 01h is copied into R0. I'm using R0 as the indirect addressing mode. In that case, 01h corresponds to register R1. So the content of register R1 should be copied into 45h according to the program. Okay, so let us see how does it work. First, build target. Of course, save the file, build target, debug start session. Okay, debug. No, sorry. Okay. Okay, let us do one thing. In register R1, let us save some data. Okay, I'll go to memory 1. I'll go to the data memory 0x01. Okay, there is a register R1. It's nothing but register R1. I'll save some data. Let us say I'll save 09h. 09. Okay, so I'll open one more window. Here I'll open local data memory. There is an internal RAM location 45h. Location is 45h. 45. Initially, what is the content of 45 is 00. Initially, the content of 45 is 00. Now let us run the program and we'll see. Debug run. Okay, fine. Okay, so that means data 09, which was available in location R1, is now copied into destination 45h. So copied into this. Okay, in the register indirect addressing mode, we had seen indirect addressing mode. We have seen examples like move a comma at R0, something like this. Okay, so the destination can be either accumulator or it can be register. Sorry, memory location. Okay, immediate addressing mode. Sorry, direct addressing mode. Like 40 address memory location 45h, 30h, whatever it is. Okay, it can be source also. There is memory location can also be source. It need not be destination. It can also be source. This is register indirect addressing mode. Okay, this also we saw. So that means this is the valid instruction. These two are valid instruction. Okay. So in indirect addressing mode, we have seen all the possibility of indirect addressing mode. Okay, I've seen indirect addressing mode in detail, and then this also we have seen. There is indexed addressing mode. Okay, 1 bit also we have, so we can see, no problem. Okay, so there is 1 bit for 1 bit. I think I don't know whether I don't remember I used program for 1 bit of data. Let us check quickly. No problem. Okay, move C for carry bit, not move C. Move C is the instruction, index addressing mode. Move space C, the normal move instruction to transfer data to carry bit. Move C comma hash 1. You can specify B, or you need not specify. It will because looking into the destination, compiler will understand that the source is a 1-bit binary data. 1-bit binary data. It is not 8-bit data. It is a 1-bit binary data because compiler need not append zeros to convert into 8-bit because the destination is anyway 1-bit data, 1-bit location. Destination is anyway 1-bit location, 1-bit location. Okay. So let us run this program. Build target. Save the file. Build target. Oh, sorry, invalid register. What? Just a second, guys. Invalid register. There is name number 0. Just a second. Okay, this okay. I think we need to specify B. Okay. It is taking it as decimal. Sorry. Okay. Build target. This is showing it as invalid register. You see for carry bit. Okay, but this should work. Why it is showing as invalid register? Wait, just a second, actually this should work. Data address expect data. This is just a second. Carry bit should work, with the C there should not be an issue. Hash B. The data, and this is not an issue. This should work, but why it is showing error? Okay, just a second. C comma hash 1BH. Okay, it is having a problem with the what you call the name of the bit invalid register. The site is showing as C hash 1B. Okay, this okay. So what we do is to overcome that situation, what I do is I'll find out the address of the what you call the carry bit. Okay. So where is carry bit, guys? It is available in program status word. In program status word, the leftmost there is MSB bit is the carry bit. What is the address of that? It is D7. D7 is the address of carry bit. Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. Is it carry bit is MSB bit? No, just a second. Yes, and carry bit is MSB. I'm sure, but yeah, carry bit is MSB. Okay, fine. So let us go to the compiler. What was the address? D7H. Okay, since compiler is saying that invalid register, it is not allowing the C to be used as a name of the carry bit. Okay, so instead of C carry bit, I'll use the address of the carry bit. So address of the carry bit is D7H. D7H. I'll use this as the what you call address. D7H. D7H. The address. Let's see whether this works. Build target and define some. Oh, there's something serious about this 7. Is it the why it is showing up? Just a second. There's no other instructions also, but say the file build target and define symbol. Is it 1 or L? But 1 or L? Sometimes L and 1, it looks undefined symbol. Target not created. D7H. Okay. Okay. So of course, the other possibilities we can use set B C. Set B carry bit. Let me check whether this is a valid instruction. Okay, this is a valid instruction. Okay, set B C. Okay. So guys, this instruction is not working in this compiler. Guys, I'll show you that instruction. I'll open that instruction. Move C. I'll check it again, but because there is no other symbol for carry bit, it is always C. But now we have I have an issue with the carry bit. What is the instruction? This is the instruction. This is not working in this version of compiler. This instruction is not working. So instead of this, to set C to 1, I'm using another instruction called as set B. This instruction we'll discuss in detail later. Set B instruction will set bit location into 1. So the format is set B space C. Okay, C for carry bit. C for carry bit. It will set it to 1. Okay. So let us execute this instruction and see. Carry bit build target. Okay. Errors are 0. Debug start session. Okay. So where to check the carry bit is, of course we can go to D7 location in the memory, but in D7 location it will show the 8 bits. It is not comfortable, So then you can go to the program status word here. On the left hand side, you can open the program status word, and that you can see carry bit here. You can see the carry bit here. Okay. So you can observe this space. Okay. Run the program, debug run. So carry bit is set to 1. Carry bit is set to 1. Carry bit is set to 1. Anyway, because move C instruction is not working. Move space C comma hash 1BH is not supported in this version of compiler. That's okay. Yes, okay. So that's about okay. There's one more thing what I wanted to show is that for move instruction, this what do you call for hexadecimal numbers. If it is hexadecimal number from A to F, if it is A to F, hexadecimal number 0 turning is not an issue. But if it is from A to F, you have to use 0. before the character. Okay, let us check into that. I'll show you that also. Move a comma. Let us see. First, I'll not use that. As immediate data. It's immediate data. I'll say ACH. ACH. Okay, my data is AC. Let us see how the compiler reacts. Build target. Compiler says undefined symbol. Okay, that means it is expecting AC to be some characters, but in our case it is the actual data. Okay, so that's why what we have to do is we have to use 0 here. Okay, 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 we have to use 0 here. Okay, but now the if you see the data, what is the size of the data? It is 0 AC. 0 is 0 0 0 0. A is 1 0 1 0. What is C is there is D D E F, no? C is A. Is it correct? 8 to 10, correct? 11, 12. C is 12, 1 1 0 0. Okay. But in the just now we have understood that, if you specify number bigger than 8 bit, it will take only the lower 8 bit. It will ignore the upper 8 bit. Okay. So that's why when you specify like this, and when you run the program, debug start session. Okay. And let's say debug run. Okay, so what does the compiler does is it will ignore the upper 4 bit. It will consider only the lower 8 bit, that is ACH. So ACH will be copied into accumulator. Okay, so the content of accumulator is ACH. So content of accumulator is ACH. That's how it is. Okay, so this also I wanted to show you. Okay, so that's about 8 bit data handling using new instruction. Okay, so next possibility is, I think this is time up now. Next class is only 4 minutes left. Okay, yes, I'll continue. In the next class, we'll discuss the push and pop instruction, and we'll execute all these instructions, exchange and swap instructions. Okay, that should complete our move instruction. Because move X also we have seen. If required, we can execute some of the move X instructions also. In external memory, we have seen in the compiler, using external memory, we have seen how to transfer the data 1 2 3 4. We have seen this example. Okay, so that's why we'll discuss these push and pop instructions and the exchange instructions in the next class. Okay, and we'll continue with the arithmetic instructions. Yes, okay. Yes, thanks for joining. See you in the next class. Okay, stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good day. Good day. Bye. Bye. Stop.